Welcome to Coming Off the Reels, a fine podcast about movies in all their glory.
Mm-hmm.
My name's Ryan Vincent.
My name is Drew Martin, and first things first, because we had this problem a couple of times. If you're listening to this, check us out on Facebook. Just type in Coming Off the Reels. You can also email us at comingoffthereels.com. comingoffthereels@yahoo.com. Right now we have a very basic website up. We're not going to give the address away just yet because we still need to add some content to it. But it'll be up on Facebook, the link soon. And we have a lot of faith in where it's going. So, all right, what are we talking about today?
Why don't we start out talking about what we left off with in our last podcast, which is the Human Centipede.
Okay, I thought we had kind of closed the book on the Human Centipede, but go ahead.
Friend, that book can never be closed. Never. Live in infamy.
Okay.
Well, I was browsing around on the interwebs.
Okay.
And I don't, unfortunately, remember where I saw the link. But I found a fine link. And it is there some problem here?
No.
Okay. And it was a link to the Human Centipede, the game.
Say what now?
The game.
The game?
Yes, the video game.
Wait, is this real?
Oh, of course, friend. And we will also put a link to that on the Facebook Coming Off the Reels page. But it is a fine rendition of the original Centipede game. But instead of shooting Centipede, you're shooting Human Centipede.
Good.
Injecting it with, what's the word? The drug that he uses to put them under.
Oh, the date rape drug.
No, that's the one that he drops in their glasses.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know.
Roofies. I don't know the real name.
Sure you
I'm not a doctor.
Okay, well, that's... How was it? Is it any good?
I mean, if you enjoyed the film, it's pretty, it's Centipede, really. It's Centipede.
Okay,
Except you're shooting naked humans.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, yeah, then take a look at that, especially if you're a fan of the film.
As everybody listening to this podcast has probably gone out, paid for it on their DirecTV, and sat through it in high definition.
You're right. Or if you're lucky, you saw it in a theater.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think at this point I should interject quickly, and this is something that I have not said to you, and I probably should have mentioned it. But I was looking on, some Evil Dead tattoos, and I found a link for them re-releasing Evil Dead in theaters.
Really?
Yeah. And I went and saw some of the links. Nothing real close. They are coming to St. Louis at the Tivoli.
That's...
So maybe if we can make that trip.
Yeah. See, that's what I wish our theaters would do a little more of here.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do?
But one of those theaters, and I don't think it was the Tivoli, but one of them was showing the Human Centipede.
Nice.
And it was very exciting.
Well, before we get too far off track, and before we start talking about this week's movies, have you watched anything good lately?
Well, I did. You and I went together and saw Black Christmas, the 2006 rendition.
Yeah, we did.
It was unfortunate. I mean, we went with high expectations of gore and nudity, because I'm pretty sure it was rated R, was it not?
Yeah, it was.
And we really didn't get either one of those.
No.
Really.
Say for the one crowning jewel of it, and that's where the psycho killer kills someone and then...
Maybe his mother?
Yeah, and then takes a Christmas cookie cutter and cuts Christmas shapes out of her back and then bakes them and eats them.
Right.
That part was pretty glorious.
Yeah. But outside of that, and I think even more so because Michelle Trachtenberg was in it.
Yeah.
Who is, kind of a cult figure for
right.
us, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Right.
But all the same, I was very intrigued, so I went back and saw the original. And, I mean, it's 1974, still not a whole lot of gore, but it's very suspenseful.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you say better than the new one?
Yes.
Oh.
I'd be hard pressed to say anything is not as good as the new one, because it was terrible.
Yeah, we didn't like it.
It was terrible. It was very by the numbers, formulaic.
Yeah.
just like the remake of Sorority Row. As a matter of fact, in my head, they kind of get mixed up from time to time.
Oh, I can see that. So,
but I would recommend it to. I mean, it's not really. It's almost like a thriller, more than a horror film.
Well, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, I would recommend it.
Add it to the old Netflix queue.
Why not? That's how I watch it instantly.
Yeah.
Actually, it's an instant.
Okay.
So.
Well, this week I haven't watched anything apart from you lately. It seems like it's been very busy.
You mean apart from watching me? That's kind of spooky.
I mean, creepy. I haven't seen anything that you and I haven't watched together.
Oh, okay. That makes a little more sense.
Lately. But this evening you and I actually watched a couple of films. This is almost a sequels episode, as both of the movies we watched, this is their second incarnation.
Yes.
The first movie that we'll be talking about is The Descent 2. And the other movie we'll be talking about is Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans. These movies definitely go hand in hand.
Oh, right. Very similar film.
Yeah. So let's get cracking. The Descent 2. Your thoughts?
Well, the one obvious problem is going to be that there is no way that it can live up to the original.
Right.
Because the original is, I mean, I think we're probably far enough removed from it to go ahead and call it a classic horror film.
Agreed.
It was 5 years ago. That's plenty of time. But the real problem with the new one, if it stood on its own as a horror film and you had no expectations, it'd probably be okay. But going in expecting something a little bit above average, because the first one is so good, and Neil Marshall is a talented director.
Yeah.
Whereas this guy, I believe, was the FX guy on the first one.
Editor.
And he should probably just stick to that.
Yeah.
Because it was very, very blandly directed.
Right.
Like, he knows how to point a camera and record with one.
I think it's
pretty much it.
Unusual that being the editor on the first film, this movie felt very poorly edited.
Yeah.
You know, like
a lot of bad cuts.
And a lot of scenes that went on too long. And it was someone who, it was his job before, it seemed like he didn't have the eye for it this time. I specifically am thinking about the elevator ride back down.
Right at the very beginning, which is not suspenseful at all. It's just an elevator ride,
right.
And it seems to lag on forever.
But look, before we get too far in, even though we mentioned kind of the plot outline of this in another show,